Hello, guys. It's me, Marcus, from the Adventures Lair. Here with me, I got a very special guest, Nick from the Epic Helms. Nick, thank you for being here, and please introduce yourself for the public.
My name is Nick. As you said, I am from Epic Realms. It's a podcast, live stream show. We interview authors, game designers, TV personalities, all of that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of heavily focus on geek genre. So we get a lot of fantasy authors, a lot of like D&D, Pathfinder, role playing type community members, as well as all of our other guests. So it's a really fun show.
Yeah, and your first interview that I saw was with oh my God, Richard Lee Byers. I love the books of the Brotherhood of the Griffin.
Yeah, Richard's a great guy. He does all
Yeah.
kinds of great work. I talk to him quite a bit, and he's oftentimes coming back and coming back on the show or doing other things with me. He does a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hope
he's great.
now the Pathfinder Tales are coming back. They asking him to write again. Oh, keep the
He,
story of the warrior of the Mammoth tribes, right?
yeah, that would be kind of cool just to see. I mean, all of the people in Pathfinder Tales. It would be great to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, Richard's book was pretty good too for the Pathfinder Tales. It's really cool to see the wide variety of authors they ended up getting for all of those books.
Yeah, and from the Pathfinder, what titles are your favorite? The one shots and the series.
So the series I really like. There's the Pirates. There's a Pirate's Tale, Pirate's Honor, Pirates. They're all Pirates Prophecy, all done by Chris Jackson. Those are probably my favorites. I like the Liar's Tales, Liar's Blade series.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
There's something about the dynamic between the characters in that, and just the author alone. That author just as he stands out. All of his
Yeah, yeah.
characters. He has other books too with Alaron the Alchemist,
Uh,
and that's a really good one. I like there's a couple individual ones. There's Crusaders Road is one that I really enjoy, and that's just kind of a one shot.
Yeah, that one he surprised me because the part of the fairy people was very much like a Midnight Summer's Dream, more folk, right?
Right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was
No, it
very
was
nice.
really good. I liked it.
So, guys, Nick agreed to be here. We're going to make a review about the Redemption Engine, né, for James Ellis Sutter. It's the second book of the series, and Nick chose. It's a very cool book. When we're going to see Salim Gadafar, the priest who has no, who is no priest, right? And he was atheist, and he made a deal with the angel to save his wife, and would not go good for him. And now he's basically he's a slave for heaven, right, Nick?
Yeah, yeah. He's a slave for Pharasma, the goddess
Yeah,
of death and life and rebirth.
yeah, yes. And she is one of my favorite gods in Pathfinder,
Yeah,
right?
she's really popular. She's one of the more worshipped ones. When you
Yeah.
talk about tabletop role playing, there's a lot of people use her as their deity for multiple reasons.
Yeah. So, Nick, tell us what you think about the book, why you chose this one, because I never, as a consumer of fantasy and a DM, for me, I never feel comfortable to explore other planes with my party and introduce angels and demons. It's very dicey, right?
Right.
So when I read the first one and the that's heretic and Redemption Engine, I got a very good surprise with these stories, and it's a detective story, right?
Right. I really enjoy that part about it, the planar travel, because you don't get to explore that in a lot of the novels. And I'm a Pathfinder person. I role play Pathfinder a lot. So to see somebody put it in a way that's easy to understand Because the planes can be mind-boggling. They explain it,
Yeah, that's the
but they put it in a
problem,
way
right?
where you can understand how the multiverse works. I really like that in the story.
Yeah, so the stories have a very nice beginning. We got with Salim getting a new
Hmm.
city right after he finished his first job,
Yep.
and he got mugged. And then we got a very, very good example of good storytelling. Introduce the city, the setting, the population, the vision of selling, the vision of the population about the priests, the crows, how they call them,
Right.
his order. And I love this part. One was that vibe of a western when the guy gets in the city, the guys they rob him and go bad, right?
Right. I
So
love I love the introduction of that as well. And for those that are watching, the first novel is called Death's Heretic. So if you're interested in the series, definitely check that one out. You get a good intro. But it's nice because you as a reader are new to this giant city and the workings of it, and so is Salim. So we know just as much as he knows.
yeah, and the city is very interesting because she's basically ancient uh, ant. How ant house? How is the name? Ant burrow for ants.
Yeah, it's like on top of a lot of caves
Yeah,
and caverns and
yeah.
holes, and yeah, it's built upon ancient civilizations that people have forgotten about. So you see all of these things. Imagine if the ancient Egyptians and all that stuff were buried, and but you still had access to a lot of those tunnels and you could see them. And I know that there are places in the world that are like that, where you can walk by and you see all these caverns and stuff that people have lived in. It's very much like that.
Yeah, and the city is I think she's a very nice uh, um example of a cosmopolitan metropolis, but few of the scum of the fantasy
Right.
world, right?
Right. Yeah, it's filled with all kinds of different stuff because everything is kind of legal. It's all about being free, so there is no organization. It's chaos, but it's organized chaos.
Yeah,
So they don't really have government per se. They just have agreements between,
yeah. I
organizations.
got like a vibe of the Batman, like in No Man's Land, when the gangs
Right.
have sectors, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. But it's
So
still a city, right? It's not
yeah,
just
it's just
all destroyed. There's beautiful places and there's, all kinds of great structures and things like that as well. It's not just the slum, but the character, he has to go and see some of the darker sides of the city.
yeah, and the fun part for us, né, the consumers. So one of the things I got surprised because in in the beginning, after the mugging part, he see a troll, and in most of the worlds and Pathfinder, when we see a troll, we go, oh boy, here we go, and this troll it's a street seer, and
Yeah,
the divinations of him are doing by cutting his belly, put his insides out, and he reads his guts. Oh, I love this part, man.
yeah, it was great because there's a lot of cultures where that's you cut open an animal and you see the how the intestines fall out and you read them kind of like reading tea leaves. And yeah, this troll does it, but he does it with his own guts because it heals. So it's great.
Yeah, and then Salim go in the very luxurious hotel inn, right?
Yeah, the Canary
Yeah,
House.
yeah, Canary House, and then he got a very interesting meeting with his angelic boss and
Yeah,
a devil, a contract devil, and they say, hey, someone is stealing souls. And, well, what? The news? No, the souls are not going to anywhere. It's not going to Pharasma. Nobody knows what happened to the souls, and heaven and hell want to know about it, right? And
yeah,
that's it. They go. They say they tell him go, go, go,
yeah.
and he got so pissed off, right? He's
Yeah.
man. This man is angry all the time, right?
Well, because he's basically forced against his will to basically do the bidding of the thing he hates most. Um,
Yeah, and
because you kind of find out he's an atheist and he's from a culture where religion is against everything they believe in. Like it's outlawed. People get put to death for believing in religion in the culture he comes from. And here he has to do the bidding of a god.
yeah, and in like oh, the detail is that all the souls are missing are for bad people, very bad people,
Yeah, they're
right?
only bad people.
Only bad people. And in this journey, he got to know Gav, the
Yeah,
street kid,
yeah,
the guide of the city. Man, Gav, I like this character. He's street smart. He got always got a sharp answer, and he got no problem. Oh no, I'm out. It's your problem, right?
right.
But he's a very interesting way to introduce the. I think he's a reflection of the g- general feeling of the city, right? How the
Yeah.
people feel, right? And I think he's a very interesting character, right?
I like the fact that Gav, he's our guide, right? He's the
Yeah,
one that's telling us about the city. But our character, the character we're seeing, Celine, he's the one that's teaching Gav about what life is really like
yeah,
outside of the city. So they're kind of guides for each other. Like Salim is guiding Gav on how the world works, but Gav is teaching Salim how this city works. And it's a nice dichotomy, and you also get that like Gav is kind of free loving. It's like
yeah.
he's
He
always happy. He's in a good mood. He's cheery.
he's like short round for indie, right?
Right.
Yeah. So with Gav, we start to understanding the factions, right? And after some time, we got to necromancer, and we understand deals between religions, right? I
Hmm.
think the meat shop. I can't won't tell this name. It's a meat shop, right?
Yeah.
Uh, from this necromancer who sell very cheap undead for people,
Yeah.
right?
Garrick Mubb, I think his name was
Yeah.
Garrick Mubb.
So we got the dynamics of good cop, bad cop, but selling is all the bad cop, right? So he using his powers, and every time he uses his powers, he say he feel like worms of pharasma crawling on his soul because he's
Yeah, for
so
Celine.
yeah, he hate use the power to favor of the gods. Yeah, I think its part is very interesting. What do you think?
I think it's interesting because again, like it's against everything that he believes in. So he has this force of power of a god channeling energy through him, and he hates it. And so he has it blocked off like a wall of this divine power that he just hates to use. So he just blocks it off. And so, but when he does use it and he lets a little trickle through to cast spells,
Yeah.
um, to him it's like this dirt or this filth that he feels running through him. He hates it. But of course, we find out in the previous book and in this book, kind of the more he uses it, the more he gets used to using it. And you kind of get to see how that progresses throughout the story. But yeah, it's an interesting way to describe it for someone who doesn't like it, as opposed to I'm sure if you're an actual worshiper, it probably feels great. That's exactly what they're looking for. But
Yes, and he is not alone on this investigation. Having sent a other agent, a how the name of the girl? Um, do you remember the girl? The
Medora,
Medora.
Medora. Hmm.
Medora. She do not like selling. He say stay away, stay out of my way, right? Okay, he's going to do his thing, and after he interviewed very nicely the necromancer, he got a name, Victor Corban. Cor-
Yes.
and this character, man, he got. I think he's like the evil Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, kind of, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
And I found his story very compelling, right? He's a
Right.
businessman, he's a survivor, he's a fugitive, he's a vampire. right?
Right.
So I love the idea of the his only option is put his resources to make the city grow up,
Up.
right? So we got
Yeah.
this skyscrapers, right? And he's in the top. He's the big dog, right? And what do you think about this, Victor?
I like the character of Victor. I'm always a fan of the kind of the anti-hero. Like, yes, he's a vampire, but he's not making other vampires. He's not doing anything against anyone's will. His whole goal is to enjoy life and survive and stay away from his
Employers.
previous life. Yeah, his
Yeah,
previous
yeah,
captors, employers,
yeah.
whatever. And so I like the character. I like the concept of the idea. I like the backstory. I would have liked to have seen another story come out that's based around him,
Yeah.
just to kind of see his life and
How
how
he
that
how he
happens
got
or
from
that
the
interaction.
gutter from the top, right?
Right. It would be very interesting, but it might be a little. Maybe that's a too close to like the dark elf stories of the R.A. Salvatore, maybe,
Right.
which we'll get into.
I don't know. Victor is more. I don't. Victor is not a guy like Drizzt. I think Victor have no. Drizzt have a hesitation to kill, but he's a good killer.
Right.
He just don't like.
But as
I
far as
think.
like coming from underground
Oh
and like
yeah,
trying to get to the surface and that
yeah.
whole story, it
But
might be a little too close.
yeah. Well, and is a moment in this part because both of them are always talking softly, but they are both ready to jump to fight one each other. And I
Right.
like this dynamic. Is like Lex Luthor talking with the Joker, right?
Right.
Very very evil, very nice. And when it's a moment that Selling tell him, oh, I will listen to your story, but I will have to use a power to see you not lying, right?
Right.
And Victor got a little offended, but okay. And the way the writer put the power in use, I think very interesting because when we are uh, playing RPGs, oh, I'll go use this power. Okay, some DMs, okay, but I think it's nice to make the effect right. And in
Right.
the case of Salim, when people are talking to him, when you say the truth, bells sing saying truth, and when you lie, bells sing
Yeah.
of kiss and lie, right? And Victor is lying, but he don't know he's lying. And when
Yeah.
he got, oh, it's something who can give you a answer, but is extremely danger. I will not help you. He start trying to kill Salim, right? He won't kill
Yeah. He
him.
almost did. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but Salim used his raw charisma, right? And go, oh, yeah, yeah, okay. And
Or intimidation, maybe.
yeah, then the way it's like the Victor say, I can manipulate your memories, right? To you go there without remember me.
Because what
Because
people don't like, what we missed is that the creatures that used to hold him can read your thoughts.
yeah,
So he's like, I need to modify your memory, or they'll find me. They'll
yeah,
read your mind, and they'll know where I am.
exactly. And when he start to finish the incantation to send Salim to Zabarax, the Sift of Silence, the city be down under the city. He say, "Thank you, Victor. I will remember this." And Victor said, "No, you don't. That's the point of this, right?"
Right.
And send him to the portal. And then we got a glimpse to Zabarax, the city of silence, né? And I think a very interesting part of this story because there we have the masters of Victor, old masters. They are creatures who have no face and
Right.
they consume memories, but they are not like vampires. I think they do not consume the memories. They made a backup, right? a
Yeah, they
copy.
like store them. They like
Store
they
them.
need memories to survive, and yeah, they
Yeah,
store them in like a
in
brain.
like all this type of cultures, we have the masters and the servants are vampires, right? And
Hmm.
when Salim get there, he go, oh, there he another charisma role because I am here in business, and some vampires attack him. Others, oh, this guy here, he has some powers. Well, let's listen here, hear him, right? And I think this part of the about the vampires is a very nice example for players. And what do you think about this part, Nick?
I think it was really interesting to see him get down there and look around and see that things aren't necessarily what they are. But he's used to fighting vampires. What's a few vampires? Until he gets there and he realizes there are just as many vampires in this underground city
Yeah,
as there was in Karamaga, the city above, and that like they could drain the city above in minutes if they wanted to.
yeah.
And
He's
that's
not
what's
like
interesting.
a gothic vampire like Victor. They are like a hive mind, right?
Well, the vampires weren't, but the Callborn, the
Yeah,
other creatures, they were like a hive mind. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And when you got the Coldborn, I they remember make me remember about old Marvel comics like the original Kree, right?
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
the Kree have this big, massive collective mind, big brain. When you got very important, very powerful, your mind will be put together there like a reward. And I think, oh man, here we go. It will be like the mind flayers thing. And no, they were. I think they were very helpful to Celine, right?
right, yeah, yeah, very helpful.
But very gross. I like the gross of the story, right? What do you think of
Yeah,
this part?
they're putting like this goo slime to keep it moist and wet and ugh, on the hive mind, the main brain, I guess, of the
Yeah.
Callborn.
And after this, Celine discover it's a place in the city where it's a machine, right? And in this journey to see this place to investigate, he discover one faction about abolitionists, right? And they see they are capturing a person. When he invade the compound of this mage. She's a famous blood mage who is very gross, right?
Yeah,
So yeah,
bloat mages in general are
yeah.
really gross.
They remember me the Baron Harkonnen for Duna, right? Oh, bloated and gross. So then he got to. First, I was thinking, oh, it's a ninja. Well, not exactly a ninja, right?
No, it
No,
looks
no.
like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he met Rashad, right? Rashad said,
Hmm.
hey, my friend Boris, it's was captured. Please help me," because they were thinking I was his slave, and no, it's a other thing. It's a more complex thing about the
Yeah.
the relation, right? And they will sacrifice him. And when
Right.
Salim and Rashad go in the place when the machine, the blood mage are doing the ritual, was for me was a mashup about um, magic ritual and a steampunk thing, right?
Right.
So they Salim he free Boris and saves the blood mage. I don't see exactly we're doing bad, but I go they go separate ways. I'll go let give you a pass, but stop, right?
Yeah.
And then the his partner in the investigation come to him saying he messing things up. All the factions are angry, and he just say to him, "Hey, I go to heaven." And his friends say, "Yeah, man, you're a nice guy. When you die, go to
You can
heaven."
go to heaven. Yeah.
No, I'm literally going to heaven, right?
Got to go
And
investigate.
then Gav said, "I can go with you." And he looks at him. You think you're good enough to go to heaven? Sure. Oh, I will stay here. I stay here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe. Maybe.
but Boris and Hoshad. they explain to him the 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 relations about the two are
Yeah.
very complex. Is a mind, body, and soul, right?
Yeah.
And the chain represents this union, and because Celine saved their lives, they have a this honor life.
Life debt. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So they go with him, and then we have the taste of the planner travels, right? And what do you think about this part? Because when they got in heaven, Salim, like a teacher, a very grumpy teacher, explained about the planes of the gods for Boris and Roshat and for us, right? What do you
Yeah,
think this
I think
part?
it's a fun shift because we talked earlier about how Salim was kind of the fish out of water getting into the town, but now Salim is not the fish out of the water. But we still need someone and a way to explain how things work too. They still have to verbalize explanations. So Boris and Rashad are kind of like there so that we, the audience, can sit in Boris and Rashad's seat and learn about the multiverse, about the planar effects. And for those that are curious, if you end up reading this book, Boris and Rashad do have one or two short stories as well, just about them that you can get on the Paizo website. So they are a very unique couple of characters, members of the Iridian Fold, I believe
Yeah,
is the
Oridian
term.
Fold. Yeah. So, when they got there, they explained from the angels, from the commander of the angels, who is what's the name? The creature with the dog head? Like he looked like the Power Ranger SPG boss, right?
Yeah, I have notes here somewhere. Let's see here. I think his name was. Maybe I didn't write his name down.
Okay, but it's a
Farland,
Farline, the dog
Farland.
guy. He looks
Yeah,
like the
there
Power Rangers SPD boss, right? Doberman,
it is.
Doberman head, right?
Yeah,
So then they explain the guy got first is very polite. Then he got pissed, right? You
right.
have all our help. These two angels go show you the someone who we think is the guilty one. So we are introduced in a very smart and very nice way to Arathusiel, the chained. He
Yes.
he this man this character stole the show for me. I want a book about Arathusiel, right? The
Yeah.
because he's in the cover, guys. The interesting part about Arathusiel is he was a demon, a powerful demon.
Right.
He was in his fortress, and a group of angels came, attacked the fortress. They killed all of them, but the last one before his death blessed Artusiel. And this kept going in his mind, and his soul was changing, and one day he was an angel,
Yeah. He
right?
slowly became an angel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a reverse fall, right? Angels
Right.
fall,
Exactly.
yeah.
Which I
The
love. I think that that's very special because you always hear about like angels falling, but you forget that like why can't it go the other way? Why can't there be a redeemed angel? And it's a big part of the story. He's got such a small part in the book, but it's a big important part of the story and the overall plot of the story.
Yeah, so then we got to understand from Arathusiel and this interaction, the heaven and the complexity of the angels, the very old types, how they think. So I think I like very much of this part. I want to see more of Arathusiel, right? But
Right.
Celine seems and is not my guy. And the angels think he is the guilty one, right?
Right. Right.
So after this, take me to the Heaven's Library, and then we always got a very tied up librarian, right? A
Right.
curator, and we have this very snobby talk, right? And and Salim says, "Hey, this is happening. This cannot happen. Check the files. My files are perfect. Check the files."
Yeah. Yeah.
He checked the files, and oh shit.
They're not perfect. Yeah, because
Not perfect.
angels are all about order, and so keeping because it's all about law in Pathfinder in D&D you get the alignments, and so this book also really explains how those alignments correspond with the different planes, and so they're all about order. So everything is meticulously gone over and over, and it's part of who they are. They don't get it as an angel. They usually don't get a choice. That's just what they are. And so
Exactly.
having everything filed perfectly in the paperwork to find a mistake, that's 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 not right. There's something wrong there.
Exactly. And then Salim and his friends find out about the lower collection. Like it's like the heaven and hell library are connected because
Yeah.
it must change information, right? So they go there very in secret, kind of. But before we go to the hell part of the library, what do you think all the because we can see all the security measures of the angels, holy water, lights, angels who look like a a machine, right? So I think very interesting this part because I never think about a library in heaven.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because you get to see the different the different beings that would reside in heaven, whether it's angels or an archon. The Faralan is a hound archon, I believe,
Yes.
and that's my guess anyhow because he's got the dog head. So whether it's an archon or an angel, but they're all about the law and chaos. And I think it's interesting because why wouldn't there be a library in heaven to keep track of everything? I mean, there's got to be a little bit of everything. There's got to be an alchemy lab in heaven. There's got to be, everything because they've got to track every aspect of everything that could be good, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense that there would be a library. It makes sense because they have to keep track of things. Well, where are they going to keep track of things?
Yeah, and it's a part when they got underwater, right? And we see like angelic whale, and says, "Hey, that's not an angel." But
Right.
and when the angels are escorting them, says, "But is a creature of wise and of order, so
Yeah.
it's welcome here,
A
right?"
creature of law. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it is a very interesting part. And then we go to the hell part, right? And in the hell part of the library, we discover that the devil who contacts Stalin was not exactly the devil we think he was.
Right.
And all the I think very ironic because Arathusiel and this devil also tell about Salim that was hell who creates the atheism, right?
Supposedly.
Yeah,
Supposedly.
supposedly, right? So I think, oh, that's very interesting, and the transformation, right, was very, very interesting. What do you think about this park, Nick?
I think it was really interesting because you get to see you go straight basically from heaven straight to hell. And not only like for Salim, it's like, yeah, we're here, but the other two, that was not fun. The
No.
transference isn't fun. It's the whole thing was terrifying.
Uh,
And of course the finding out that the person that had a Seanin, who is Salim's handler, the devil that was like, "Hey, something's wrong here," for him to sit here through this whole thing, and then you realize that he knew the whole time what was going on.
yeah, and then we find out who are the guilty ones, right? And when Salim goes
Right.
to unveil like the old detective stories, right? The things go south very very fast for him, and he in the how what the name of the girl again? Sorry,
Um, Melchion,
Melchian, Medora.
Yeah,
So Medora.
Melchion and Nemaniah
Uh,
are the two angels
Yeah,
that are
yeah.
were escorting him
So
around.
Me
Medora.
Medora and Salim go there to confront the angels. these two angels, and then they discovered that all around them are the souls who are disappearing and or were rebuilt like angels without judgment, right?
Yeah.
They explain their plan like a like evil speech, right?
Like the bad guys would, yeah.
Yeah. And they don't kill Salim, right? This in both of them. Well, this in
They can't.
Bar.
They can't kill him. If they
Yeah,
kill him, the
yeah,
goddess of death will know.
yeah. So they then send them to the I think it's protoplane, right?
Yeah, it's like a plane, like a proto plane of chaos.
Yeah, and then when this protoplane, uh, it's a desert of nothing, right?
Hmm.
And in this journey, both of them have to understand each other, and I think it's a very nice part to, because she's an angelic creature,
Yeah,
and he explained to her things that for us, for humans, it's very, very simple. But for a creature of order in her core, a true believer, it's like a child. She cannot see the dirt down the light, right?
yeah,
So they find a few creatures who are very rare, right?
yeah. I do
Very,
want to mention, if you don't mind,
yeah. Please, please.
that Medora is a very powerful being. She's a psychopomp. She is one of the more terrifying, powerful beings in the universe. And
Especially,
Celine is
especially
very
if
experienced too.
you got arachnophobia, right?
Yeah, especially if you have arachnophobia, for sure. But she is very powerful, and so the angels actually put something on her and Celine to keep them to stop all of their magic. So she's basically just a mortal at that point in time,
Yeah,
and she doesn't understand like the concept of death really until now. Like
and
she's a psychopomp of death, and she didn't understand death because it's not something she ever had to worry about fearing until now.
yeah, and her despair about the flow of the power of the goddess be cut. She was like a child, very, very scared and lost, and Salim got to educate her, right?
Right.
So I think I like this part. I was thinking, oh no, right? I feel, I forget the word, but a filler, right?
Yeah.
But I was wrong. Was a very, very nice chapter, and then they got get back, right?
Yeah. There's a
Go,
point in movies that they call the point of no return, and that's followed up by there's a point where all hope is lost, and this is very much the all hope is lost part of the
yeah,
story,
I
where
agree.
you're like, there's no way out. There is no
No
way
way
out.
out.
So yeah, go ahead.
And
Sorry.
the words of the immortal Bill Paxton, it's game over, man. It's game over.
Game over, man.
Yeah. So they return. Gav make a meeting all the city gangs, and then we're going to have a two fronts attack. In the mortal plane, they going to attack the compound of the bloat mage and destroying the machine, and Celine and the psycho pump going to heaven to confront the angel. Oh no, sorry, the angels are not in heaven, they are in the Pharasma plane attacking, right? And
Right.
heaven,
There's two planes. There's
yeah,
two
yeah,
different attacks.
yeah, and heaven is just the doing nothing, right? They want to see what's going to happen, right? Because
Right.
Pharasma do not allow more angels in her plane because she cannot guess what faction they going to
Yeah.
help,
Who are they
right?
with? Which side are
Yeah,
they
yeah.
on?
So this is a very interesting part for me because as a TM, the way we see the angels fighting, the the crows of the Pharasma, the the Psycho Pump. We see the power of Psycho Pump that you mentioned before. I go,
Right.
whoa, 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 whoa. Those are a good six D12s rolls here, right?
Right. Yes.
So I like the fight in the both plans are very very interesting, right? And we see the things going, and we see the Psycho Pump almost really dying, and she says, "If I die, I cease to exist." Right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
Stalin, he saved her, and is again in the middle of the storm, fighting creatures very, very more powerful than him, and
And holding his own.
holding his own. In the last moment, Arathusiel came. And this guy go full Super Saiyan on the Angels
He did.
guy.
He did.
Oh my God!
Did you cheer when he showed up?
Oh
You
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
expect him to show up, and then you're like,
I got
yeah.
goosebumps just to say, man. So he go full Super Saiyan, and not Goku Super Saiyan, go Vegeta Super Saiyan. Those guys, right?
Right.
And in the end, we have a very part. Salim said, "Hey, but and heaven says you cannot help it. Sometimes you have to break the rules, right?" I make the voice. So
Yeah.
I love this part because Arathusiel, the chain one, he got his chains with locks in his wings, and
Hmm.
every time he pass a test, nobody knows what is the test. A lock opens and falls, and the
Yeah.
moment he saves Salim, he destroy of the angels and prove that he is not a creature or rage, but of redemption.
Yeah.
One of the locks open and fall. Like Ravens goes and go, you achieve achievement for heaven,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The,
Congratulations.
yeah, what do you think about this part, Nick?
I like it. It happens once earlier too when they meet with him. When they go and meet with him for the first time, one of those chains and locks
Yeah,
falls, and he ends up giving it to Salim as a token of thanks for helping me learn a valuable lesson. Because Salim is an inquisitor in the end, and he can even push the buttons of angels and deities and all of that kind of stuff. I liked the battle, and I like the battle for a couple reasons. Reason number one: rewind to the very beginning of the book. Right, he gets attacked by three thugs, and he stops them, and he knows he's okay. But you think you get a real sense of danger for him,
yes.
and then you get to this part, and he's fighting angels that are super power, like divine beings of battle, and he's fighting them not with ease, but he's fighting them and keeping up with them. And then you realize at the beginning of the book, he was not in danger at all. There was no way that those thugs were going to get the best of him because he's fighting. He's sword fighting two angels at once in some points in this. So you realize how powerful he really is as a mortal, and how even Medora kind of realizes he is he is maybe a bit more on my level than I thought, even though she spends the entire book, talking him down and how he's basically just a dog, in the background
Yeah.
that's fighting for scraps when really he's not.
Yeah, what I noticed in the end, like you say, he's like Daredevil, the man without fear, because he wants to die, but he know if he dies, the God is going to screw him over again. So he go all again and again, 100% against his enemies,
Right.
because if he dies, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we go to the mortal plane when we got the Boris and Rashad and Gav and the others invading the compound of the Blood Mage, right? And then
Hmm.
we have a very interesting example of Boris and Rashad fighting in sync against an angel, right? Uh,
Right.
it's a very nice fight. I go very nice development, but I got in the moment Rashad say, "Oh, this thing use blood magic, and he's a sorcerer." I go, "Oh no, here we go again." Everybody,
Yeah.
yeah, and I feel the pain of his he was feeling, right? Because
Yeah,
he do something for impulse. Because he's the impulsive one in the duo, and
yeah.
he
Rashad.
knows. Yeah, Rashad knows he's going to die, and Boris is on tears. His heart is broke, right?
Right, because his partner, his like, he's the person he's trying to be basically be one with.
Yeah,
Because that's their whole thing. Like they are two beings, one mind. So they think alike. They shouldn't have. They don't think that they should be able to need to speak to each other. They should know what the other one's feeling, what the other one's thinking at all times, be in complete and utter sync with one another. And the only limitation is the fact that there are two of them.
yeah, and like a good old adventure, in the end, the machine's going to blow up, and we got the hell out of here, right?
Yeah, get the hell out.
And in the end, we got the very Indiana Jones ending, like a big party, right? Hey, hey, our friends are dead, but oh yeah, let's party, right? And we got Salim talking to his handler. We got a new mission, and when he going to talk with Boris, he discovers something very interesting, right? Boris and Rashad are with the soul's meld,
Hmm.
and it's like for his actions, like was an accident, but they achieve what their order always wants, right? What do you think
Right,
about this part?
exactly. I liked it. I didn't see it coming,
Not me.
but I should have. I should have, because they teased it and they gave us information about it throughout the book.
Like they
And
are.
again, and for those watching, we're leaving out so many things because we're not ruining the book for you. There are so many things
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
just like we're not giving you the details. Like how are they stealing the souls? What's happening? We didn't say. We didn't really say what's happening. You're gonna have to go read the book.
Yeah, I think when you say about they give our clues for us, it's like our moments where Boris and Rashad have an entire conversation with just
Right?
one looking to each other, and Salim and Gav they notice this, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is a uh, very good book for not just fans of Pathfinder of or fantasy, but it's a very nice novel.
Yeah. It's really good. It's one of my favorites. I love the story. I love all kinds of things. I love the way that it's built and structured. Um, it's really well done. If you listen to audiobooks, it's read by Ray Porter.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's not the voice I do of the of an
yeah,
enthusiast. Oh, come
yeah,
here.
yeah. And Ray Porter is great. James Sutter, the author, is great. I've had them both on the podcast. I've interviewed both of them, and they're both amazing people, and they have some great insights into all of their work. But yeah, it's this book is just it's one of my favorites, and I looked forward when we talked about it. I'm like, I'm gonna go, sweet. I'm gonna go listen to it for like the sixth time.
Yeah, when we were trying to decide what book, we almost got the Dagger of Truth, right?
Yeah,
Right,
Dagger of
Nick?
Truth was
Yeah,
almost one of them
yeah,
because I really love that one too.
yeah. And when we talk, it's one of the few books of fantasy when bards are cool.
Yeah, I like Dagger of Truth because of that. You get to see one as a D&D player, as a Pathfinder player, as a role player, you get to see a game where everybody's playing the same class, but they're all different.
I like
None
the
of them are the
puppeteer
same.
one. The puppeteer
Yeah,
one.
and the little puppeteer. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's just great to see that, and you get an idea of like it's a little bit of a spy book, it's a little bit of a bard book. I like the book, I like the story. Audiobook narration, not my favorite, but the book and the story is one of my favorites. So yeah, we almost did the Dagger of Truth. So
Yeah. Well, Mike, tell us about what the things will be coming in 2025 in their channel.
we got all kinds of stuff coming up. We just had B. Dave Walters on. who you might know. He does a lot of tabletop role playing. He's been on Dimension 20. If you ever saw the cast of Stranger Things playing D&D, he was the GM for that. He's got books, all that kind of stuff. We got Kevin Hearn, if you know the Iron Druid Chronicles. He's going to
I
be
do
coming back
not
and
know the
joining us.
Iron Druid Chronicles.
Oh, you got to check out the Iron Druid Chronicles. That is a book. That is one of the greatest books of the last decade. It's an amazing book series, Iron Druid Chronicles.
They
Comic book.
are available in audio?
They're narrated by Luke Daniels, who's one of the best audiobook narrators in the world. And so we're going to have Kevin Hearn on. He's going to be joining us. Jim Zub is a comic book writer. He wrote for Conan and all kinds of other stuff. We're going to have Jim Zub on. Our guest list is a mile long. Tabletop RPG designers, all kinds of things. I've always got new guests. So
yeah, I love your guest, Mike, because you do a wonderful job, man. Because I think everybody, especially people who are writers, who people working tabletop or translation, they have a story to be told, right?
Right, that's exactly it. I always think that our guests, because I could sit there and talk about their books for an hour, right? I could talk with Bob Salvatore, R.A. Salvatore. I could talk with him, and I could just be like, "What about Driss this?" and "What about all of these characters?" But I don't. I think I spend a very minute amount of time talking about his novels. It's about him. It's about his life.
Yeah.
I think we spent 10, 20 minutes talking about World of Warcraft and EverQuest with R.A. Salvatore, and people just loved it because we get his story, we get these cool little tales, and we get little tidbits that nobody else gets.
Yeah, I love Bob Salvatore, and I think if one day I'll talk to him, I will talk just about the Boulder Shoulder Brothers. They are my favorites. Right, and I find Pyko his favorite character, right?
I don't know.
I think it took more time to Pyko his favorite character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine is Jaraxel and Artemis Zentari. Those are my two favorite characters.
I think
Road to the Patriarch, my favorite book of his.
I think I like Terry after the Neverwinter.
Yeah.
Right.
But because he's a bad guy when he starts, right?
But Jarlax, I like him since the second book when he debuted. He's like Boba Fett, man.
He is.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
But other character I really love it's Thibaudorf Puente.
Yeah. Thibaudorf he's a great story, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just everything from the beginning all the way through to the vampirism, to the rage, to just everything. He's kind of silly. Sometimes I feel like he's more comical than he's intended to be. And maybe next time I talk to Bob, I should be like, is he supposed to be a little comical?
I think he's the right type of stereotypical dwarf, right? Because he's grumpy, he's angry, but he's loyal to his core, right?
Yeah.
So I think Puente is a wonderful character. Let me talk about the Richard Lee Byers ones.
Yes.
Because I love the Brotherhood of the Griffin. Fazin, it's a great character. He was like a side character in the Dead books, right? The Deadlands ones, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and all his arc, and Richard he's saying in one interview that he have more things to come, but all the changes in the Wizard, right? But other book of him, I love it, the Rage one, because as players and our DMs, every time you get a book about dragons, they say sometimes all dragons got infuriated, got enraged. Nobody knows why. And in these 3 books, we discover why.
Yeah.
And I think these 3 books deserve more love, right? What do you think about this?
I only read one of them, and I don't even remember which one because it was so long ago. But I can't keep up with every book. That's my curse. Yeah. That's my curse. Is I get a guest on that has 300 books, and I can't read them all. But yeah, Richard Lee Byers' work is always great, and I like the idea that they give him and they give all their authors, but they give him like, here is something that's very important to the overall story of the world. Can you tell this story? And so they handed him that ball and he ran with it and he did a great job. A
Yeah.
lot of people love that. I hear that quite a bit when I hear people that respond to the interviews I did with Richard Byers. A lot of the D&D folks, they agree with you. That's the story they love. Those are characters that they love. So
Yes,
yeah,
because I like the concept of the half golem, right?
right.
But the thinking, Richard, is like you say, you can do this for us, and they say sure. And in the undead ones and the rage ones, they, I think they take the monster manuals, put in his table, and say we need these monsters, and he put them all right. We have all kinds of undead and the Eothazin ones, and in the rage we see all the dragons, including the sun dragon. Nobody used the sun dragon, right?
Nobody.
Nobody. It's a ugly
Nobody.
one. It's a very ugly one, right? And
But you got to get it all included. That's what makes it special, right? You're like, oh, I didn't expect that. That's kind of cool.
right. So I want to talk to you about Richard because he deserves a lot of love. And the Edifice scale ones, I forgot the name of the author. You know who is the Sambia series about Ares Scale, the member of the Night Masks who become Mask Chosen One, and it fight the
Yeah, I know who you're
Netherese.
talking about, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
but I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is here in the screen, people. But this one was a very interesting surprise because I started reading them. Oh, okay, he's a night mask. Oh, he's a assassin. He's a spy, right? He's a Zentering, and then he became a shade. Then he became a chosen of mask. And he's awful. And now big friend is basically John Wick, Drake Raven, right? Because people, we have this discussion in my table: who going to win a fight, Artemis Entreri or Drake Raven? And it's very tight, man. It's very tight.
Right.
And in the only sad part,
Artemis, always Artemis. That's my
yeah,
answer.
the only sad part for me is the last book, The Godborn. He supposed to be a trilogy, right? But
Okay.
because of the change in the wizard, the author have to short to one book, and when you read this one book, you feel it's not all there, man.
It's
It's
not
a
all complete.
very
Yeah. You
it's a
need more.
very sad end for a very nice story, right?
Well, you just have to write in. Everybody has to write into Wizards. Be like, where's the rest of this? You got to flood those emails.
Yeah, no, he says more than once supposed to be a trilogy because, but I have to. And the partner we got Erevis, Mags, and his old companions all are wonderful, but the new characters they don't grow very well with you, right? And we see parts will get cut. So the book is very disappointing. I'm sorry, guys, but it's a good book, but
I haven't read it yet, so I don't
yeah,
know.
prepare yourself because we start with Indiana Jones, the trilogy. You finish with the Crystal Skull.
I like the Crystal Skull. I
Oh
like the
my
Crystal Skull.
shame!
I like all the Indiana Jones. I just like Indiana Jones.
Okay, so, but it's this one guy I want to talk to you, Nick, because I think they deserve being more love, right? Is someone in your collection you think it deserve more love?
Um,
Here we go.
you know, we were talking about there's a lot. So we were talking about the Pathfinder Tales books
Right.
earlier. Um, what a lot of people don't know is that there are Pathfinder books that are completed, that are sitting in storage that never got published.
Yeah, they don't got one about a goblin bomber.
I don't know. I don't know all of them. I know that the Pirates books, there's an entire completed Pirates novel. The next Pirates novel is completely done and has been sitting on the shelf. I think I think the Prince of Wolves author, I think Dave Gross has a book that was completed.
Yeah.
I think that the Liar's Blade, if I want to say that that series had a third one that was complete. I don't quote me on these because
Yeah, yeah. No,
it's
no.
been a while,
The
but I
liars,
know there's a handful of
the
books.
the liars have three books. The last one, like the Suicide Squad
Yeah, I think
of
there was a fourth one
Bavaria.
that
Yeah, but yeah, I heard something about this
I know
some
for a
ago.
fact that there's another Pirates book. I know that for a fact. The other ones, I don't remember which ones they are off the top of my head, but I know for a fact because I'm friends with Chris Jackson, the author, and we've talked about it a handful of times. So hopefully, now with the new Pathfinders novels starting again,
Yeah,
hopefully we
they
can see
bring
some of
those
those.
back, right? One I want to see again is the protagonist of the Forge of Ashes. It's a nice one-shot book about the dwarfs, but I really, really like to see more of the dwarfs, man.
Yeah, Forge of Ashes was the last Pathfinder book, if I'm not mistaken. That was the last one before the new one that just came out by Leanne Merciel.
Yeah, and I want to talk to you something a little controversial, right? For
Okay.
us who love fantasy, who love books, when they announced that in Pathfinder the Dark Elf is going disappear and the Snake people are going to take their place, I think it was very silly, man. Because for us who are players or DMs, don't matter. We're going to keep in our campaigns what we like. What do you think about this?
Um, I actually don't know anything about it. I didn't know. I didn't follow second edition Pathfinder too closely, just because I don't need to. I have first
Yeah.
edition stuff, but I understand the idea. I know we talked on Monday with with B. Dave Walters um, about races and things like that and inequalities and
Yeah.
like should dark elves all be evil? No, they
No,
shouldn't.
it's
They,
what
no race should just be evil because that's their race. Period.
it's
End of
what
subject.
the Salvatore books are about, right? Evil
Yeah,
is taught, is not in you. It's taught a culture of people who do evil. If you don't listen what in your heart, you will become evil. And the new ones, we have the entire culture of good dark elves.
exactly, exactly. Yeah.
So I just want to talk to you about this because I was a very I think was a very silly thing, right? I don't think it's the right way to change things. Just
Yeah, if you're going to change things, you know, talk to your audience before you make big decisions. If you run a company and you're going to make big decisions, talk to them.
yeah,
Again, I don't know exactly what that change is. I'll have to look that up because I don't
yeah.
recall
I I
them getting rid of it.
I
But
I I re- I resuming the situation, guys, but was basically this: the dark elf was going to disappear, and the snake people, I forgot the right term, will be the new lords
the
of the
Yanti,
Underdark.
is it the Yanti or a
Yanti,
different race?
Yanti, yeah. Oh, talking about the Yanti,
Yeah,
I remember that in the Demon Stone game of Salvatore of the PS2, I think. Do you remember the one Demon Stone?
I know that there was a game. I don't think I played it.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very interesting game. It have this short, it's very short because the power of the console in the time. And Salvatore, he wrote the story. It's a very nice story because we have a mage who going to be the next black staff, right? We have a
Right.
warrior of the city of Nesme, and we have a drow, but she's a half drow, like half surface elf, half drow
Okay.
in this mission. Just to make a appearance, we have a
Well, he's got
level.
to make an
Yeah,
appearance. I
yeah.
mean, he's
We
Drizzt.
got we have a small level when we defend the gates of Chris Metro Hall, and you can play with Drizzt. But it's a very nice game, and we see the storytelling of Salvatore. You have a side quest with the UNT, right? And it's I think they missed the opportunity to release a novelization of the game because when you play the game, you see the Salvatore there, and I think, whoa, man. a novelization about this game would be very cool. So I
Yeah.
recommend Nick you to play this game.
Go and check it out. What's it called? The Demon
Demon Stone, Demon Stone, Demon
Stone.
Stone. But it's a very thing you must know. Only one character can jump, and after she the
Okay,
draw
let me
five.
cross that off. You can't jump.
Yeah, after she got a ring, I think it. I am a 19th arcade player, dude. You do three things: you punch, you jump, and you punch and jump. Right? And you can't do this, and like old players, you trying to jump and punch, you can't do that, right? But
Wow. Have
it's
you
a
played? Did you play Baldur's Gate 3 yet?
no, my computer do not can handle the
Well, when you
Baldur's
get
Gate.
when you get around to it,
I have
check it out.
the Baldur's Gate 2 with the expansion in CD-ROM.
Yeah.
It's still here, but I want to. And Nick, what do you think about the Dungeons Dragon in the secret level in the Amazon Prime?
What is that? I don't.
Oh
Wait,
my
what?
God! You serious, Nick?
Dungeons. Let me Google that. Dungeons
Secret
and
level,
Dragons.
secret
Secret.
level Amazon. They made their own version of Love and Death and Robots, right? And you have a first episode is Dungeons and Dragons. Second, it's I think is
The Queen's
Unreal
Cradle
Tournament.
features Secret Level refers to an episode within the animated anthology series Secret Level on Amazon Prime, which is entirely focused on the world of Dungeons and Dragons, showcasing the story titled "The Queen's Cradle," that features classic D&D elements like spells, character classes, and dramatic fantasy settings. Interesting. I
But
didn't. I
it's
didn't even know that existed.
the
I've never even heard of Secret Level.
it's a short movie, but it's the first episode is Dungeons and Dragons. The second one I think it's Unreal Tournament. The third one I think is Warhammer 4000, and we have others that are very nice. We have a Mega Man one.
Interesting.
Yeah, and we have the Pac-Man one. It's the guys who work in Arcane. Man, the Pac-Man one is the most sci-fi deep core I see in the old stories. The Dungeons Dragon, it's a very nice one, but they have a class that I don't like very much. Is the sorry guys, the dwarf monk, right? And he do um uh, the last dragon thing, like they catch their arrow and throw again. It's a thing in the game, but I'm not very fan of the dwarfs, monks, and you.
Yeah. You keep asking me about things I don't know anything about.
No,
I'm like, I don't know about that. What's that? I didn't check. I don't know.
okay. The dwarf monk class, you like it?
Dwarf Monk? Yeah, Dwarf Monk's great.
I never, I never go. Don't work for me. I don't know why. I know.
We got giant knuckles. They got big knuckles. The best.
I don't know. I don't know.
Great for a monk.
But
A low center of gravity. They've
yeah.
got a higher density and weight to grapple, and yeah, sure. I mean, I've never played one, but I can totally see it.
Hi, my friend play with one. Jesus, he is my friend is in Brazil we call apelão. Is the guy who know the rules and make overpower characters, right?
Everybody's got one of those people.
Oh my
Everybody's got
God! He made a goblin who alchemist who make guns, right? And he make grenades. He
Right.
thought it's like for the damage of a grenade is 4d6 plus bonus. He killed almost everybody.
Yeah. In 3.5, there was a build called Pun Pun, which was basically it was a kobold build that basically you start off and I think by third level they were indestructible. It was just this weird build. So yeah, everybody's got friends like that builds these unstoppable builds or tries to break the games, and that's fun for them, but it's not fun for anybody else. So we kind of discourage people doing that because it's all about having fun and having fun with your friends and not having fun in spite of your friends.
So, yeah, Mike, before we finish, like we are talking about have fun. We here in Brazil, when someone roll a critical, we say we do uma lenda lendária, a legendary legend, because you really screwed the push. So you have one of those stories about
Rolling a
you,
natural one.
about you.
About me.
Yeah, when you go.
Here's the thing. It's hard for me because I roll so poorly all the
Oh
time.
yeah, yeah. I have
Like
what they
so,
call the shitty hand.
yeah. So we used to roll. We used to roll our stats. So you know your strength, dex, charisma, all that. We would roll them with dice. We stopped doing that and we changed to a point buy system because of me. Because people were sick of me always having all of my stats being, 6, 8, 3, 2, you know. So I guess that would be the closest is I am known for my extremely bad dice rolls.
I am basically Will Wheaton. The players don't let me
Exactly. I was
touch
gonna say
their
I'm like the Will
dice,
Wheaton of our
man.
group. Yeah. Yep.
So I have one to you. Um,
Okay.
I was DM a small adventure a few years back, and one of my characters, a friend of mine, he was obsessed with Berserker, right? He was so obsessed that I give him my collection of alternative DVDs. So, and he loved it. He watched again and again and again. This was like 20 years before Berserker, the manga, come to Brazil, right?
Okay.
So, hey man, I want making a character like Guts. I say, okay, you're going to make someone like Guts, but not Guts, right? So he pick a barbarian with rage, with a big sword, right? And only thing they have to do is rescue an old man, the owner of a company of travel caravans, right? In a tower. I put in the top of the tower, simple thing. Go in the tower, level for level, beating the bad guys, right? And he go really, really berserker, and he go rolling 20s all the time, man. He going killing and killing. Was 6 levels. I put 8 because I trying to give something to the other players, right? And in the last level, this guy is covered of blood, full of injuries, right? His sword breaking half, and it's the door. The door have a bolt. I say, hey, the door have a bolt. I will crush the door. And he rolled a 20. So the old man is there. They is beating. Oh my god, oh my god. The, the door is destroyed. This big guy covered in blood come to him, look in his eyes and says, we came here to screw you. And I say, what? We came here to screw you. And I say, okay, the old man died. He say, what? He died. You kill him of a heart attack because and why? Because I say you came here to rescue you. No, you say screw you, and the old man died.
Uh,
Everybody got pissed. And oh man, come on! No man, I ask you to repeat. You repeat, screw, no rescue. So the old man died.
wow.
You think I was very bad with them or no?
Wow.
It happened, man. It happened.
That's funny. No, we had a this isn't my story, but we have a friend. We have a lot of our role players will follow through on playing the character over, you know, other things. So he was playing, I believe, a halfling,
Okay.
and he was very curious. And there was an orb of annihilation, this big black hole,
Oh Jesus.
and he didn't know what it was. And so the first time he goes, I stick my head in it to see what's on the other side.
Yeah, your head is gone, but
So he dies. He dies, right? And we're playing really powerful characters. So somebody rewinds time one round. They use a wish spell, go back one round to stop that from happening. So they go back, they rewind a round, and the guy looks at everybody. He goes, "Well, it's one round prior, right?" And they're like, "Right." He's like, "I haven't learned anything because I haven't stuck my head through the hole, right?" And they're like, "Right." It's like, "So I don't know what's in there, so I stick my head in the hole."
it's like I remember now about do you remember the dinosaur show, the Sinclairs? I think there was about the family of dinosaurs, and
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
watch
That thing's
yeah, yeah, they watch a TV show that always a kid who dies and saying, "We're going to need another Timmy." Do you remember this?
I don't. I don't
Yeah, yeah,
remember that. I remember the
yeah.
show. I remember the show.
Yeah, the baby one watch like a science program, and the guy have a kid assistant, and always the same kid, and he always die again and again in
Always
the,
dies.
and they
I don't
go,
remember that.
we're going to need another Timmy. It's the same
Need
thing.
another Timmy.
Yeah. Well,
That's funny.
Ronick, thank you very much for this chat. I'm very
Yeah.
happy. Um, sorry, guys, for my bad English, but I'm working, right? But that's it, Nick. And here in the channel, we have something called Momento Carini, the moment of Carini, who's a homage to a friend of mine. So we ask you to uh, send a message to the universe.
Like just like a positive message,
Oh man,
like
you can say anything you want
anything
because
you want.
anything.
Guys, be true to yourselves and make sure to stay in contact with all your friends and relatives. Don't let them be forgotten. If you spend a moment of your life and they are gone, you will regret it. So make sure to reach out because you don't know what kind of problems other people are having. So take care of your friends, take care of your families, and make sure to stay in contact no matter what's going on.
Very well. Thank you, Nick. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, guys, that's it. This was a very special episode of the Adventures Lair. This is Nick from Epic Helms. I'm Marcus. Thank you very much for this chat. Until the next one.
See you guys later.